Hey, listeners, and Jim, are we in the show? Is this
We
the
are
show?
in the show. Thank you for asking that. I wasn't
Mm.
sure. It's funny because you actually preface that by saying, "Let me think of something to enter the show with,"
And I was just
and that's
asking.
that. And you took a few seconds too,
Yeah.
and that's what you settled on. You had a few seconds of thought, and you went with that. You said, like, you know what? Hold up. Let me prepare for this. Let me not do it improv.
And then you
And
know
you,
what I decided on? Nothing. Just
exactly.
absolutely nothing.
We're the Jupiter boys. We're two boys from the planet Jupiter. My name is Jim Jupiter.
And my name is Quinn Jupiter.
This is a podcast that we do when we feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry about
The last couple weeks, maybe.
the last several months. Sorry about 2020, just in its entirety.
That's a given, though. I mean,
That's a given. We flip a coin of truth to decide who goes first in the topic-a-thon. And Quinn, you need to turn down your headphones because I can hear my own voice in your headphones through your microphone.
okay.
So
Yeah.
just go ahead and do that a little bit.
This is better.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
And I'm gonna flip this coin of truth to decide who goes first in the topic-a-thon. Quinn, writing side or logo side?
I'd like the logo side, please.
And it's the writing side, which is good because I, for once, have a topic.
Oh
this week.
shit! This is this is not usual behavior.
No, it's quite atypical, if I do say so myself. Now, Quinn, the world is a fuck to death pile of steaming, flaming horse caca.
That's a good way
right
to
now.
put it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Like that's a good.
It is a desecrated pile of lifeless boners at this point, and by lifeless boners I mean flaccid penises because
Yeah,
that
not
goes without saying.
not zombie boners. Like just
Yeah,
flaccid
and
ones.
and like they're desiccated too. They're not just desecrated, but they're desiccated. So like they're like shriveled.
Okay. Are they
penis style.
also what's the poop one? Defecated? Are they defecated too?
Yes,
Okay.
they were consumed by some sort of penis succubus.
Okay.
Desiccated of all moisture,
Yeah.
and then defecated out of its anus.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate.
But
yeah.
that's how the world is right now, and part of that is that the cops can just kill
Mhm.
people.
Yeah.
As they see fit, and it's usually based on somebody's skin color, which is pretty fucking raw and awful.
Yep.
And there's been calls to defund the police, and I think like if you understand that at all, and how it's like about divesting the funds from police into other services,
Right.
good idea. And I don't want to like rip on that idea at all. Okay, that
No.
is like a solid, good plan. However, with calls to defund the police.
Yes.
And this is completely a joke, and I don't mean this as like an actual objection to defund the police. But with calls to defund the police, now is the time to get into crime. Okay?
Okay,
So
yes. Okay.
this is the time. If you are ever going to do crime,
Now is the time. But
You
you've
if
gotta
you can't
start-
beat 'em,
Yeah.
If you can't beat them, you join them.
Well, you got to, what you got to do is you got to like try to plan, try to find the day that, like they'll be like defunding day. We're defunding the police on this day, and then like everybody's having a celebration.
You're talking about the purge right now, but what I'm thinking of is, what I want to know.
Yeah.
Is what's the best crime to do?
Okay.
What's the crime that's gonna be? It's gonna maximize your fun because it's all about fun.
Yes.
Really,
Yeah.
people think about crime as being, a bad thing.
Yeah.
But really, it's all about having a good, clean, fun time with your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I mean, all the crime I've done primarily has been with my friends. So
right. Yeah, and I mean, it's about having fun. So, what's the most fun crime? What's
Okay.
What's the kind of crime that can return the most amount of investment?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Biggest payout for littlest reward. And then what's the kind of crime that that you just like, it's your passion, right?
It's my passion crime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Passion Crime's my favorite band, actually.
What do you think?
Yeah. So I think that the most fun crime would probably have to, and knowing you, that I'm going to think that your most fun crime would be a heist, because as we've established on this show, you are an insane fan of heists. You love them.
Yeah.
You can't get enough of them.
Yeah. If I could if I could just heist my way through my like if literally every day of my life
Was a heist?
involved a heist to get all of the things that I needed to survive that day,
Yeah.
that would be my dream life. Like if I woke up in the morning and had to rappel down a 50-story skyscraper on a wire to fetch the, bacon and eggs for that morning's breakfast.
Yeah.
That would be okay with me. I think I would like that. If I had to laser dance, dance through a tangle of lasers.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Every time I had to take a shit, that would, yes, be inconvenient.
Yeah, extremely
but I
inconvenient.
think it would make me very constipated. I know for a fact that, just as lazy as I am, I'd be like, do I really need to shit right now?
Yeah, you'd like block yourself up for
I
3 days. Yeah,
I think I can hold it. And then, several days later, they'd be, digging compacted shit out of my colon. But,
worth it.
I think, exactly. For the sake of a heist,
Yeah.
And like, Matt Damon would be on the other side of the room being like, you can do it, man.
Yeah. I know that I'm not respected by the other ones as much,
because it's our life, but another Matt Damon, because we have to double the Damon.
Yes.
Another Matt Damon would be in the in the bathroom solving a very, very hard math equation on the mirror.
But then we could even go as far to triple the Damon and have a Jason Bourne style Matt Damon. No?
You went too far. There's a tipping point for Damonosity.
But okay, but the next crime that I want to commit is that we're going to take over Treadstone. And that's going to not only because you think about it.
You're graduating past crime into like full governmental conspiracy at
okay,
this
but
point.
think about it. Who has the most funding in any kind of intelligence agency?
Fun? Is it the most fun, Quinn?
I'm talking about
the people who work at
this.
Treadstone. Like, Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne. You know how stressed out that guy was?
Oh yeah.
That he was seeing Jason Bourne on his screen. He has to then report that to a higher up, and that's a rough conversation. There's no fun to be had at Treadstone.
No, there's no fun to be had at Treadstone for sure. And I was doing the second part. I didn't know that your question, had like it was like I thought it was gonna be like, what's the most fun crime? Then what's the crime that could get you the most money? Because I'm thinking that like a crime that gets you the most money, is going to ultimately be stressful.
Right.
Because
right.
any kind of bank robbery kind of heist that I've seen or anything like that, I would want a kind of Italian Job style heist where nobody gets hurt. Like it's just Edward Norton.
Donald Sutherland dies at the beginning of that movie. Right?
Yeah, he definitely. That was just Edward Norton being Edward Norton.
So the trick is. Spoiler! If you haven't seen like fucking
don't have an Edward Norton
film,
don't
Italian
have an
Job,
Edward Norton.
Is don't hire Edward Norton, I guess.
I mean, that's like kind of a rule for any director nowadays because apparently he's notoriously shitty to work with. But that could be rumors and speculation. I don't know.
2003. Damn, I was 1 year off. 1 year off.
Man, I was gonna say 2002 too. And it's just because for whatever reason that just screams 2002 to me. That movie is. Also, it holds up. That's a mini. Go watch it. Go watch Italian Job with Mark Wahlberg and Charlize Theron.
Not the original 1969 version.
Well, you can watch
2003 remake.
You can watch that one because I think that one's the one where it's got Michael Caine be like, "You are only supposed to blow the bloody doors off." Like that. Yeah. I think that's like that famous line, and he blows up the fucking whole van. Yeah. So, and then what was your third part of your question, Jim?
Well, I mean, it like you interpreted it as like, what can you make the most money off of? What can you have most fun with? What can you just want to do the most? Yeah. Whereas I want to combine those. You need to find the balance.
So
of
remember
fun, money, return on investment.
Yeah. So do you remember when you were bringing up this topic of like kind of like a theme park but sex related?
Yes.
So I think we should do that, and it's going to break some laws.
Clitneyland? Yes.
Yes.
Dickney World?
Dickney World or Clitneyland? Yes. Or just like
Disney World is in Orlando and Clintney Land is in California.
Clintney Land is, of course, in California. Of course it is. Oh man.
Okay,
And-
so here I'm gonna. Okay, so go ahead.
But you're breaking laws, first of all, because that's going to be breaking a whole lot of health violations, right? First off, the
right
jump.
now.
Right
now
now,
it is.
yes.
When I had the idea, it was a fantastic idea.
It was a great
It was a
idea, yeah.
bulletproof, waterproof idea. No one could poke holes in that very, very solid plan ever.
And I'm thinking that's going to be fun, man. I mean, think
yeah.
of the merchandising alone.
True.
You'll get merchandising.
alone, you're gonna make some good money on there.
Plus,
here's my thought.
you can
there is a
up
person.
certain-
There is a
yeah.
person who
Okay.
has figured out the perfect triumvirate of these three things.
Yeah.
And I bet you wouldn't guess who it is initially, but I'm gonna tell you.
Okay. I'm
It's
excited.
Banksy.
Banksy.
It's Banksy.
Oh.
The motherfucker is making the art he loves. He's getting a sweet return on investment because he's raking in the bank now,
Yeah, he's making
right?
that
Because he's
chip
made
change.
some good money off this shit. He's breaking the law.
Yeah.
He's having fun with his friends.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's really no downside to the Banksy work.
Now I gotta ask you this, Jim. Do you think
Yes.
he's doing these crimes with his friends? Because I think he's probably laying pretty
Oh
low.
no, he is. He is. There's that documentary about him where he goes out with his butts.
Yeah, I think it's exit through the gift shop. It's a really good
And that's the
documentary.
end of the topic. Very good documentary.
Yeah.
Go watch it.
Wasn't he
Go watch
caught? Didn't Banksy get caught
it. No,
Or
nobody's caught him.
or turn himself in? But it was a fake. It was probably a fake.
Who the fuck
yeah.
knows? But Quinn, what time is it?
It's time for the Mitchell smoke break. It's time for the Mitchell smoke break. It's Mitchell smoke break. It's the time middle of the show where we smoke weed.
Yeah.
And most of the time, like I don't know what to say when Jim's smoking weed.
That's why I'm doing it fast.
Yeah, he does it.
Because I know Quinn. I know Quinn can't fill
No,
even a few minutes of improvisation. The motherfucker, he gets in the spotlight for like when he wants, and I hope he's smoking the bowl right now because this is pure genius improv that I'm doing right now. But Quinn, there was a specific time in his formative years. He was probably about 9 or 10 years old, and it was his first improv class ever. And they stood him up in front of the class, and they said, "Okay, Quinn, now you got to ask for a suggestion, and then whatever the suggestion is, you just do it." And he said, "Can I get a suggestion for an occupation?" And someone said, "Baby." And Quinn cried really hard, and then wet himself.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of coming back from that.
No.
And so
Now
basically, it just it scarred the whole improvisation experience for him forever.
I
And,
actually read off a script. Like there's a person off
Quinn-
stage,
Quinn-
and he's
Quinn
got,
has-
got cards.
Quinn has a notepad that he keeps for just improvisational ideas, like improvisational banter ideas.
And I've got like
it's
it's like the latest things I have is squirrel, banana, dog with backpack.
Yeah, he writes really abstractly. Like it's very just like like flashes of ideas, which is a bad idea for someone who can't improv, right? I read one of his more fleshed out ideas, and it was something along the lines of like, the other morning I saw some lint between my toes, and I was like, how can I even have that much lint in there? I wasn't even wearing socks. And that's the end of the mid-show smoke break. Quentin, what's your topic this week?
My topic today, Jim, actually has to do with the defecating game, or with just kind of toilet.
Hold on. Stop right there. I need you to stop.
Yes.
What's the defecating game? Is there a game that the millennials, that Generation Z is playing that I'm not hip to?
I don't
where
think
one defecates
makes a game out of it.
extensively and or in a prolonged or unusual fashion. Is it like Fortnite dancing where there's just like a specific type of poop that you're aiming for?
Yeah, and they all do it on TikTok too. They all TikTok their shits. They're like, "Hey, TikTok, well, we're just doing some shit in game," and then like everybody's like, "Oh man, he only lasted 3 minutes this time. What a weak ass bitch." And
I would, if it was based on like duration, I would be like an up and coming star.
Now-
I actually do think that like I can take extremely long shits.
Now,
I just
would
have
you
to
be
eat
pooping?
like nothing but garb for like a few days,
Yeah.
and my shits last. It is not unknown for me to have a 30-minute long shit.
Now, is poop coming out all the whole time? Is
No,
it
but I
just
mean,
an endless stream?
but I would argue that as long as you're bearing down, you're still
Okay.
in the process of shitting, right?
Yeah.
So
But
as long
but
as you're
there's
still
probably
squeezing.
like would would they have like a rating system that when this is just unlistenable.
Yeah.
Sorry for anybody who's fucking listening, because
Fuck, Quinn, if they're listening to like episode whatever, like 215 of our podcast,
they know.
It's a little too late for that. They've
know.
sort of crossed that Rubicon, my friend.
So what if they had like a little stopwatch that accumulated your actual pooping time, and it didn't, and it just cut off the like.
So what's pooping time? Is pooping time that any time that poop is breaching the anus?
Yeah, I believe so. And like, if you got one that's kind of dangling,
does it have to be like a minimum of like a millimeter past the rectal folds?
Yeah, it's got to like All right, we're gonna get some.
Let's move on with whatever you were gonna say about this pooping game.
So the pooping game, we know about we're both very familiar with the pooping game. We poop a lot. Probably too much.
So when you by pooping game, you just mean taking a shit.
Yeah.
Just that
like
thing
that's
that
all I meant.
every
It's not
human
an
being
actual.
does.
It's not a hidden thing or anything on the internet.
Unless you've got a colostomy. People who have colostomies, people like. I mean, it's a real living adjustment to have this thing.
Exactly.
And no doubt that would be like a real uncomfortable thing to have to carry around. At the same time, not having to ever go to a public washroom to take a shit.
Oh, this would be wonderful, man.
Oh my god, what a gift!
Plus, you could be just talking to the
gift.
Just talking to the UPS driver. Look, like I'm shitting right now, man. It's no big deal. Send BD.
It's you're sort of always shitting a little bit. I think. I think it just kind of like is always sort of coming out.
So what I wanted to talk to you about was some struggles I've had with my personal toilet experiences. Not per se pooping, although that is also an issue. Yeah, but just I've had a lot of issues lately with ricochet, where I will peeing at like a public urinal or even a public toilet, and there'll be some splashback from the water because I've got such a powerful stream of piss that it just it like it's like Pirates of the not Pirates of the Caribbean. That's not a water ride. It's like the Water World ride.
It is a water ride. Is it? Isn't it like a log ride?
Probably, actually. From what I remember, I believe it is. So yeah, it's like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. There's so much splashback, and when I'm wearing shorts, I'm like,
it's Splash Mountain.
I got some. Oh yeah, Splash Mountain. That's the
obvious one that was sitting right there.
Man, it was
you
like
bypassed it for the Johnny Depp one, and
I don't. Did you know that Johnny Depp actually went to Universal Studios? I think it was in California, or not Universal, Disney, and he like dressed up as Jack Sparrow and went onto the ride, and they were like, "No, don't do that," because they didn't know if they would get like in trouble for having actual Johnny Depp in the ride.
Really?
Yeah.
Why would they get in trouble for that?
Well, because Disney's all like tight laced with like, having things go wrong. They have an insured actor, and like going in the middle of like an animatronic ride.
Oh,
like
he was in the animatronics, like he was like in the workings of the ride.
He was going into it, like he snuck into it, and Disney was like, "Don't do that, Johnny. You could get hurt." Like,
right? He wasn't riding the ride. He was like in the ride.
Yeah, he was in the ride. He was like, some fans got actual Johnny. Like, so that's awesome. First of all, I love
that. So Splash Mountain is happening to you. Yeah. So I've got some solutions for you.
So
I've got some
I
tips.
also wanted to kind of discuss toilet technology and how we can like improve it.
We'll get there. We'll get there, my friend. We'll get there.
Yeah.
So first off, the splashback when you're peeing. Urinal, hard to factor into that one because the urinals have varying heights. The floor urinals are by far the superior ones because you pee, if you get any splashback at all, it's on your shoes.
Yeah.
Who gives any fucks about that?
It's not on your knees. Like I get it on my knees and I get it on my legs, like my calves.
The first thing I would want to say is get closer, right? Because like the farther away from it you are, the more arc it's gonna have. Aim downwards, with your penis.
Okay,
put that sucker downwards. When you're in a toilet, You aim for not the
bowl.
water.
Yeah,
hit
you aim for the
side of the bowl.
Yeah,
It also
I always aim for the
it
bowl.
also quiets your pee.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that
I'm
you're not peeing incredibly loudly.
I'm very
for some
aware.
reason, I have a very
Yeah.
weird awareness and like self-consciousness about the volume of my piss.
Same. If I'm like in a public bathroom, or if like I have a girl over for the first time.
Did both of our upbringings like just force us to like be ashamed of the fact that we pee into water?
No, dude, it's actually a common thing. It's like a common thing I used to see on Reddit being like, oh yeah, you aim for the bowl. Like every guy knows they just aim for the bowl automatically because they're just shamed by their piss sounds. And I frankly am tired of it. We should be
I say pee loudly.
Yeah,
pee
loudly.
Frequently. I pee freely.
Here's what I'm proposing, Jim. I just got a brilliant idea.
Okay.
So do you know like how people are kind of changing, like people are attaching wiring somehow to inanimate objects and making instruments out of them?
I guess.
So what we're gonna do?
You're kind of taking me on a bit of a journey here, man.
So what we're gonna do is
you just were like, you know how there's this weird technology that I don't know much about, and I'm gonna explain to you in a very vague way.
I'm sure if somebody knew how to like. There's a way you can make it so that it's just like a loop thing. So it hits the thing and it creates a loop. So people are like playing kiwis and like inanimate objects. There's a whole Twitter page where this guy plays inanimate objects.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Where you turn inanimate objects into like essentially buttons.
Yeah, exactly. They're like
switches.
Buttons for switches to turn on something. So what if we had like a customizable toilet that you could just like tap with your shoe and like tap like a new song that you want to play, or like a clip that you really like.
What you've just done.
Ringtone
there's
your
a
toilet.
Bit on Better Call Saul where he's a guy hires a patent lawyer who is Saul to come out and discuss his new invention.
Oh yeah, it's the singing
in his
toilet.
Garage, he has a toilet. And he like shows him, he's like, watch this, and he drops a block, like a wooden block, into the toilet.
And it's like, good job,
yes, Timmy, that's
good
delicious.
Job. That's
Thank you. Feed me your poop. And it's just like super fucking creepy. And what you've just done is essentially recreated this device.
But it's not celebrating you for your poop. You just play a little song. It's much more creepy to hear like, oh, good job, Jimmy, nice poop, versus like
that's nice for pee. Okay, so like let's say you do it for pee, and you know, like you go into the public washroom, you drop your fly, and it's celebrate good times, come on, and then like you finish up, you're like, sweet, nice, good stuff.
Somebody comes out of the stall and they're like, honey, please don't divorce me. I can change. I swear to God. Some dick is fucking peeing in the urinal, and he's got celebrate.
But what if you're taking a shit in there, and it's like one of those ones that's like it's fighting you. You have to wrestle it the whole goddamn way. So like you drop one, and it's like celebrate good times, come on, does the whole song, and then like a few seconds later, you drop another one, and it's celebrate good times, come on, and it's just that for an hour and a half, Quinn.
Jim,
what if you're just wrestling it?
There's different loops and different songs you can cycle through on the foot pedal.
So for the long shits, you want to select an audiobook. So it's just J.K. Rowling reading you The Casual Vacancy.
The gunslinger followed the man in black across the desert.
And that's the end of the topic. And it just restarts. Like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
All shit related. It's just the part of the help where she feeds them the shit pie.
It's just books and songs that can be somewhat tied to poop.
Which is probably quite a lot. Yeah.
You know. Anyway, that's been our show. Woof. Just
that one was rough.
That's just a big OOF from me, dog. Thank you to Christo Graham for the use of our theme music.
Christo Graham, he just released a record on a label.
I think you can essentially say that about Christo Graham at any time in history, that he's just released a record, but now it's on a label, which is probably his own label that he started and made out of compost, because that's the kind of guy Christo Graham is.
Can neither confirm nor deny that Christo Graham made his label out of compost.
I'm on Twitter.
I will
at the
find
Jupiter
out.
Boys.
And I totally interrupted him. He's at the Jupiter Boys, and I'm at Quinn Jupiter.
Yeah, Quinn's got a problem with overtalk on these shows, but
Mhm.
it's gotten better since we've not been in the same room, because like when we're in the same room, for some reason he just doesn't pay attention to the fact that I'm talking to him, and he just plows over it. He's just like, yeah, so then a goat. So you can go to thejupiterboys.com, see old episodes, and get all shit. We're also like anywhere you get podcasts. We're part of the Dolphin Shark Network with shows like Durf and Dietz and Dave Franco's Dream Boys, but we don't talk about those fucks.
Nope.
And neither of those guys have put out an episode in a while, but you know, they're around.
They might come back.
Yeah, and until then, until we see you again, listener, or you hear us, we'll see you. You won't see us. But until then, shoot those nuts
straight down your gullets.
With Dolphin Shark.